What I was saying before about what I like about Clojure is that you get to play with the code.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because the normal way to use Clojure is with an editor plugin that gives you live evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. So the key bindings are there. The one that I like that is the most useful is Control Enter, which is eval at cursor.
Okay.
And so you can just put the cursor at any point in the code and press Control Enter.
Maybe I need to do Command Enter. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so Mac, I've got a Mac. So Command Enter. Okay, so you're creating almost like an array, right?
What map is doing is it's mapping the increment function on the range from 0 to 4. So if you put the cursor right after the range 5 expression, so in between the final two, then it will give you the result of that, which is 0 through 4.
Uh-huh. Okay. Ah, interesting. So it's essentially like your live coding. So if I go here, then I can see the output of what that function does, which is mapping.
Yeah, you didn't have to run any tests or wait for anything, and you can just kind of play with it. Like if you want to know how a certain function behaves, but it's currently like in kind of a messy thing that's hard to reason about, then you can just do something simpler and just say, oh, what does just this do if I try that?
Yeah. So this, for example, here. So I've just run it.
You just evaluated range, just the word range, which gives you actually the definition of the range function, which isn't something that you would normally do while you're, but
so we're talking about live documentation, making documentation fun. This is interesting. I mean, I've never seen that before, where you can define something and then, or like a keyword, and then it tells you the documentation like straight away. That's really cool.
Yeah, kitty.
Oh, let's try this one.
Let me see. Let me move.
Map. Okay, so this is telling me what a map is.
You say hi.
Hey, kitty. Oh wow, Bobby, that's amazing.
So yeah, this is what I've been doing for the past 3 months. It took just this simple little thing. It's the hardest thing that I've ever done.
So what was the hard part about it? Like what?
I had to learn all about how the Exorcism online editor works, which is it uses Codemirror 6, which is actually, it's interesting because it's very functional. Previous editions of Codemirror worked more imperatively. The editor just, it's just like an HTML text area, like an editable element.
Yeah.
And then when you want to programmatically change the contents of the editor, you would just update the DOM element. But the new Codemirror actually, it's an immutable data structure. And then, so every time you edit the text, it's dispatching changes, which produces a new editor state.
Okay, wow. So is this
it's interesting because it's more like the Clojure, the functional way of doing things, which makes it much easier to do, like undo and redo, because nothing is erased.
And is this what you were looking at here, Bobby?
Not only that, but I had to learn JavaScript, which was really completely out of my comfort zone. Like just the other day, I got stuck on something just like completely embarrassing for like the entire day. I'm happy with what I ended up with. Like the JavaScript translations of the Clojure functions is actually a really good way to go, because like Clojure libraries are written usually in a very simple and straightforward way, because it's just functions.
Yeah.
And so my JavaScript is just functions.
Okay.
like really tiny ones.
So you did a
It's
lot of different functions then. So this is, so I'm looking at, can you see my screen? Is this what you were
yeah,
kind of living in for a while?
yeah. There's a whole guide to creating a language extension because I had a prototype of this thing
Mm,
like months ago, but the problem with that is that the exorcism website is an application that already exists. Like,
mm.
the team is not going to want me to just like start crawling in there and like messing stuff up.
Yeah.
And so I realized what I had to do is actually figure out how to make a proper language extension so that it could just replace the one that we're currently using for Clojure.
Okay. Flip. That sounds like intense.
Yeah, it was really fun. I just released it last night actually.
Oh wow, so this is I am the first person to have used it, Bobby, other than
Yeah.
you.